Dr. Dipti, thank you so much. Your talk was so inspiring on so many different levels and topics. But I am going to ask you to, if you are ready to talk about a topic you did not talk about, which is how does such a strong, empowered, confident, multi-talented woman decide to take and find a husband she can trust?
A myth. The mythical man. No. I thought I would never get married, actually. But I did find somebody who I am married to and have this beautiful child with. And it's interesting, we've grown together. I don't know if he realized that he was also being patriarchal many times because his family is from India and he grew up here. And we had to break through that together. Like we've had like fights and conversations and ups and downs to realize who I am is not ever going to be boxed into that patriarchal conversation. But the thing about this is, see, people don't realize that they are being impacted by patriarchy. It's just in our blood. It's been passed to us. It passes through us. So he didn't realize what he was doing. He was just being a man. He was just doing what he probably saw his dad doing. And once he understood what it means to be my husband, it's not easy. I think we've evolved together, and I'm very happy to see what we've become. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question. Please, the next question, make it slightly easy, okay? No, just kidding. Yes?
Thank you for that wonderful talk. I'm really happy to see somebody that's also both an artist and a scientist. I also have a PhD, and I'm curious to hear more about how you balanced your scientific life and your artistic life in that transition away. Because I imagine when you finished your PhD, there's also a lot of messaging that you should go into science if you get your PhD. So how did you make that transition?
So it was very clear for me while I was doing my PhD, I realized that this wasn't my passion. I was good at it. And then to earn my bread and butter, I got a job as a scientist. I worked on prostate cancer research at Memorial Sloan Kettering right here in New York for about 10 years. The thing for me is they've never been separate. See, I know that people, first of all, congratulations for having a PhD. What do you have your PhD in?
Immunology.
Oh my God. So I did my bachelor's and master's in microbiology, and we had a huge focus on immunology. I love immunology. Everybody needs to study immunology. It's about the soldiers in our body, man. So for me, they've never been separate. I think, and if you think about this, actually, so, like looking at all the training that you get during your PhD, as an artist, you have to be willing to face rejection. You get more no's than yeses. And as a PhD student or as a scientist, you have to be willing to get more negative data than positive data. That's just a fact. PhD also teaches you the importance of perseverance, which is very important to have as an artist. Commitment, discipline and focus of just working without expecting a result. Not falling in love with your hypotheses. As a writer, that comes in handy. Not falling in love with your ideas. You have to sometimes kill your darlings, So I think they've never been separate for me. I feel like for me, it's always been the same part of the brain that was a scientist. I'm a recovering scientist. I'm not a scientist anymore. Yes, I think I will be a recovering scientist for the rest of my life, and I will use that in my skincare business, but nowhere else. But I hope that answers your question, yeah.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for being so vulnerable in the morning. I guess I wanted to ask, and sorry, I don't want to get too personal, but just what was your path in healing? If you can share a few steps that allowed you to realize all of that you talked about, and also to forgive and understand your parents, because I bet it was a process and it was a battle. And if you can maybe share a few things on people you encountered that allowed you, or maybe you did therapy, or yeah.
Yeah. Sadly so, and unfortunately so. the reality that I encountered that forced me to rethink all of my narratives was death. Death of many people very, very close to me, starting from a very young age. And realizing that everything is so transient. Nothing is permanent. And then I lost my dad in 2005, when I had yet not finished my PhD. That was a very important life event for me that forced me to rethink everything. But I'm also a thinker. I'm a writer, and I'm constantly thinking about things from everything that happens in life. But I'd have to say that death largely played a huge role for me in terms of realizing how nothing is significant and yet everything is. And to look at life and people as something that I want to cherish because they're so precious, because I don't know who will be here tomorrow. And that is very powerful. That is also very healing. So I had to go through my mourning and my depression and all of that to come to a place of finding peace in it and beauty in it and being able to transform it into just love for people. I said I was a man-hating feminist, right, at 13, which was a very long time ago. But from that to here, where I feel like everybody's capable of changing, everybody's capable of loving and liberating, it's largely because of the love that I feel for people now. Thank you.